好的，下面我们邀请文美集团的美籍顾问、康奈尔大学的面试官 Mr. Pierre 来跟大家分享藤校招生官喜欢的5类课外活动到底是什么。那么请问一下这个万博士这个有没有也是你之前讲过的，其实跟你的判断是差不多的？
对的，是的。那么Mr. Pierre 作为康奈尔大学的面试招生官是吧，我们要发挥他最大的价值。
是的。
其实作为面试招生官呢，他重点考察学生的就是学生的这种综合素质、人际表达、沟通交流能力和这个你的课外活动的一个展现他重点跟你聊的就是这样。那么包括去年我被这个约翰霍普金斯大学录取的一个学生，也是我非常骄傲的一个学生，之前给大家做过案例分析那么40分钟的面试时间里边，30分钟都在问我们帮他做的那个创业项目是怎么回事取得了什么样的进展。所以这些个呢，是为什么越是好学校要面试，是吧？之前咱们讲过这个话题尤其是前10、前20的这些大学，基本上都是有面试的。那么就是看看你的人际沟通交流能力，你的这些活动能力，你的这各方面的综合素质怎么样？其实这个才是真正决定录取你的东西。那么成绩，我之前跟大家讲，每年有20、30万人 GPA 全 A， 每年有1万多人 ICT 满分，但是这些不足以被录取。藤校甚至不愿意录取都是满分的人，因为他觉得你在学习上投入的时间太多了，我没必要这么高反而他希望你综合能够全面一些。所以 Mr. Pierre 呢，他在这方面应该说是权威，他每天面对的就是看孩子的简历，看他们每一个活动怎么样，所以他在这方面是非常有发言权的所以大家好好听一听。所以我们也是现在在开启一个招生官的一个系列教育节目，让招生官从他的视角来分析我们应该如何准备课外活动。那当然这也是我们文美集团的一个优势，我们现在叫中美双顾问模式，是吧？从东西方视角来为孩子做规划，来提供最强大、最全面的一个竞争力优势。谢谢大家。
是的，俗话说这个知己知彼，百战不殆所以这个也谢谢万博士为大家找到了这个美国真正的这个招生官帮助大家去了解其中的一些这个信息。那么下面我们请皮埃尔先生来给大家分享到底是招生官喜欢哪5类的课外活动。
Hi everyone, I'm Pierre Rodriguez for WinMay. Today's topic is what extracurricular activities admissions officers look for. But before we do that, I'd like to go into what are some things that you should consider in crafting your activities list. What are things that they're going to be looking for, factors specifically. So we're going to start by talking about depth over breadth. So what does that mean? Admissions officers prefer students who show a deep commitment to a few activities rather than superficial involvement in many. This demonstration is of passion, dedication, and the ability to make a significant impact. So what we call that is a spike. So you want to have something that stands out among everybody else. So whether that's some competition, like if you made it to the international level for an international mathematical Olympiad. So that would be a spike, and that's what sets you apart from everybody else. So contrary to popular belief about being well-rounded, although important, what's going to make you more noticeable to admissions officers is that you have a spike. In other words, you have one specific thing that is your strongest point. And that's what's going to help make you unique amongst everybody else. So that's what the first point talks about. The second point is leadership and initiative. So you want to look for opportunities where you can take on leadership roles or start new initiatives. This could be starting a club, leading a community service project, or taking on a significant existing role in an organization. So we talk to students all the time about attending a leadership program, for example, through WinMay. We talk to students about starting their own club. And we also talk to students about trying to have an officer position in the clubs that they're participating in. This is an important skill that they look for because leadership, as you know, involves planning, involves using resources, and thinking about how everything comes together in many different contexts. So it's a universal skill. The third thing would be academic engagement beyond the classroom. So what we mean by this is engage activities that extend your academic interests beyond schoolwork. This can include participating in academic competitions, conducting independent research, attending summer programs, or joining academic clubs. So these are all things that we cover when we have meetings with the students. We encourage them to try different activities, including the WinMay research program, for example. We talk about the WinMay volunteering program, which they can complete and participate in during the summer. And in terms of academic clubs, we talk about honor societies and also attending competitions as well. That's something that we advocate for. We actually have a file that's a competition list. It's a compilation of many different types of activities. So that is something that we push for students to be a part of. The next thing would be community service and social impact. So what do we mean by that? That means demonstrating a commitment to community service, which will show empathy and a desire to make a difference. Choose service activities that you are passionate about and where you can show a long-term commitment. So we're talking about giving back to your community, keeping your community in mind, maybe problem solving in context of an issue in your community. For example, if there's a lot of juvenile crime, let's say, you can maybe work on a passion project that deals with how juvenile justice is a little bit skewed compared to other groups and how they should have maybe different reforms and programs to help, juveniles, delinquents. So that could be an example of how you can tie in your interests to the community. The next thing would be unique and specialized talents. So if you have a unique talent or interest, whether it's arts, sports, technology, or another area, cultivate it. So colleges value students who bring diverse talents to their campus. So whether it's, for example, chess or dance, archery, anything that would be considered more on the unique side, and it's also one of your passions, then explore it, develop it, spend time on it, because in that way, you'll stand out again, a little bit more uniqueness compared to other students. Everyone's going to be part of honor societies. Everyone's going to be involved in certain competitions like AMC, but it's the more unique things that help you stand out when it comes to extracurriculars. The next thing would be work experience and internships. So this is a little bit more complicated because of age requirements and stuff. So you need to make sure that you're even eligible to be able to get work experience and internships. So you want to be gaining work experience or internships, especially related to your field of interest, because this shows maturity, responsibility, and a proactive approach to your career. So you can perhaps work, let's say, as a volunteer at a hospital if you want to go into the medical field, and you can start to know the ins and outs of what it's like for, to have a career in a hospital. You can shadow a nurse, you can help out patients with basic tasks. The next thing would be cultural and global awareness. So this involves activities that demonstrate cultural awareness and a global perspective, such as language learning, study abroad programs, or involvement in international organizations. So these are things that can definitely be more highly regarded because you're showing that you're going beyond the scope of your community, but also thinking about things at a global level. And sometimes that requires engineering and unique insight into those problems. The next thing would be consistency and growth. So admissions officers look for consistency in your involvement and growth over time. Show how you have developed your skills, taken on more responsibility, and deepen your involvement in your activities. So this means that you could have started as a general member, but then you progress to maybe like a treasurer, secretary, then a vice president, and then a president. It doesn't have to be a linear progression, let's say, but you should show some growth in terms of things that you're involved with over longer than, let's say, just a year or a semester. If it's something that you're involved with for a couple of years, logically it should be something that you grow with and you gain more responsibilities and duties. The next thing would be passion projects. So we mentioned this before, but passion project would be engaging in a personal project that reflects your passions and interests and that can be very impactful. So this could be writing a book, developing an app, creating art, or anything else that shows initiative and creativity. And then the last thing would be balance and well-roundedness. So while depth is important, admissions officers also appreciate well-rounded students, who engage in a variety of activities that show you can balance different interests and responsibilities. And as a final recap of what we talked about when it comes to these factors, you want to be specific. You want to clearly describe your role, responsibilities, and the impact of your involvement. This is in regards to how you present your activities. You want to show achievements. You want to highlight any awards, recognition, or significant accomplishments. You want to reflect on impact, explain what you learned from the experience and how it has shaped your goals and values. And you also want to connect to future goals. You want to demonstrate how your activities have prepared you for college and your future career. So that would be how we talk about extracurricular activities in the context of things that you can keep track of in terms of important factors. But there is something that I wanted to show as a case study to see how are these things being incorporated. So over here we have the excerpt from a student that got into Harvard. So we can look at their activities, their list, and see how they follow these principles. So one thing you're going to notice is that they have different types of activities. It's not all the same. The other thing you're going to notice is that the way they present their activities is also important. They presented their spike first, which would be RSI, so Research Science Institute. Notice that this is how much time they spent per week, so it's 99 hours per week, and they spent 6 weeks per year. So if you do the product of this, obviously we're talking about almost 600 hours of work here. So that's a lot of time. And you can talk about their positions and leaderships that they got. And so that would be their spike. And then you can see how it goes down from there with, let's say, chemistry club being like the least important one at the bottom. So you have, if you look at the difference in time, so you started with 99 hours per week and then you went down to 2 hours per week. And in weeks per year, you started with 6 and then you went down to 36. But again, this product, 2 times 36 is going to be smaller than 99 times 6. So this would be the most impressive activity that they have. And so the way you present your activities is also going to be important. And that's something that we talked about. So now you know that when you're picking your activities, you want to choose them in such a way that you have a spike. And you start with that, your strongest activity, and then you go from there. So that's going to be something to keep track of, okay? And that's it for today. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
感谢皮尔先生今天给我们的分享，也感谢万博士跟我们的分享。大家有任何的问题呢，都可以直接来咨询我们的文美集团。文美集团是美国著名的大学申请及规划辅导机构，20年规划经验，在美国洛杉矶、纽约、芝加哥等12个城市设有服务中心，为广大华人子女提供教育服务。文美集团专注于美国大学升学规划服务，教育学博士加常春藤名校面试官顾问团队，中美双顾问模式，为6到12年级学生提供最好、最全方位的教育服务。欢迎大家扫码或者是直接搜索关注文美集团的微信公众号“美国文美”，及时了解最新最全的美国升学资讯。如果想跟文美的客服互动，请在节目播出期间扫描屏幕左下角的文美客服二维码，或者直接搜索微信号“文美集团”的全拼音添加。文美的咨询热线是1888-789-0942。感谢大家收看我们今天的节目，我们下期见。